Hey Snowboard Addiction, Tavis here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to hit a jump. Catching air on my snowboard is one of my favorite things to do. That is why in this video I'm going to teach you how to spend less time on the ground and more time in the air. When hitting a jump, you have two main goals. The first being matching the arc of the jump. This is done for your takeoff. With a good takeoff, you can pop off a lip and it will naturally sync you up to go up, arc over, and come into a landing, hitting both feet at the same time. This is the ideal flight path you want to be trying to hit on every jump. Second is hitting the sweet spot of the landing. All jumps have something called the knuckle. The knuckle is the flat section after the lip of the takeoff. It goes takeoff, knuckle, then landing. And the sweet spot refers to the part of the landing that has the least amount of impact. This is generally around 30% of the way down the jump. Past halfway down the landing, you start getting into what we call going big, and the impact starts getting higher again at this point, as well as increasing your chances to overshoot the jump. Overshooting is when you fly past a sweet spot, you fly past any part of the landing that you want to be hitting, and you go big. We generally want to avoid going too big on jumps that we aren't comfortable with because it increases the impact and the risk of hitting the jump. This is why we always aim to land in the sweet spot, because it gives that little bit of cushion of going too small and too big, making sure we don't land on the knuckle, what is the most impactful part of a jump, and making sure we don't overshoot the jump, landing down in the lower spoon. By aiming for the sweet spot, you will drastically increase the safety of hitting any jump. Everyone always says ollies are needed to learn how to jump, but why is this? This is because when we're jumping, we want to shift our weight from our front foot to our back foot in order to keep our board in contact with the snow as long as possible, allowing us to go and snap off our tail, fully utilizing the shape of your snowboard and all the potential energy it can generate. When we're jumping, we're going to eliminate that big movement and just keep the weight transfer of shifting from a stack position to our back foot. This will let us go and fly off the jump while maintaining board pressure with the lip as long as possible. To train this weight shifting technique, practice micro ollies. Micro ollies are when you go into a slight bend in your legs and just shift your weight to your back foot and pop off. It's a very small motion, but this is very accurate to what we want to be doing off an actual jump. You can train this going down the hill or just on flat. Just try to get used to the feeling of shifting your weight from your front foot to your back foot with slight extension. That'll help keep your board in contact with the snow as long as possible. The other way to generate height on a snowboard is jumping. A lot of people think to generate height on a snowboard while jumping, you need to squat all the way down and try push up full extension. The actual motion you want to be using is much smaller than this. Take a slight bend in your legs that puts pressure onto the balls of your feet. This is the exact position you want to be in when going off the jumps. You can actually hold this position the whole time you're hitting the jump. We call this coasting. When you go and coast off a jump, you're not going and extending, so you're not getting extra height out of your legs. What this does is it makes it so the first time you hit a jump, you have less air, making it safer and more easy to navigate. The most important thing for this is that you're holding this position and not getting thrown forward or backwards going off the lip or getting pushed down. You want to be stacked over the center of your snowboard with your slight athletic stance, riding up and getting off the end, maintaining contact with your board on the ground as long as possible. There is a lot of positions you can have when snowboarding, but when jumping, there is only one position you want, and that is completely squared over the center of your snowboard, head turned facing the end of the takeoff, shoulders stacked, with your slight bend of your knees, putting the weight on your balls of your feet. This is our power position that we want to be using every time we hit a jump. If you go and start opening your hip, shifting forward, or compromising your body in any way, it's going to drastically limit the power you can get off the lip, while also adding a bunch of unforeseen funk, and the possibilities for funk are endless as soon as you start dipping forward or back. So make sure to practice and train riding in the strong, stable position. I'd recommend trying to ride down the mountain just holding this position for as long as you can, seeing if you can go and do a straight line while staying in this position stacked, because that's what you'll be doing when going off of a jump. When approaching a jump, your goal is to ride off straight all the way from the bottom of the jump to the top of the jump. You want to have slight pressure on the balls of your feet, not enough that you start getting on your edge and turning into the jump, but just enough that you're not going flat base. This will just help you grip the snow and keep control. A big thing that messes this up is last second speed checks. If you're going and doing a speed check right before the bottom of the jump, when you come into the jump, you're going to have to reshift your weight, making it harder to go and hold your stacked position and lock it in. The main cause to last minute speed checks is being unsure about the speed of the jump. In order to remedy this, what you want to do is a few things. First of all, watch people hit it. See how many turns they're taking into the jump, where they're doing the speed checks. Try to watch for the person who looks most confident going in and is the most still in the air. Next, you can go up to the knuckle of the jump. From here, you'll be able to watch people's in-runs and then also watch where they're landing. Watch a bunch of people hit the jump this way and keep in mind how many speed checks they're taking, where they're taking those speed checks, and where they're landing on the landing. You want to be trying to imitate the person who's taking the least amount of speed checks, looks in the most control, and is landing as close to the sweet spot as possible. If you aren't feeling confident in fact you have all the skills in place, or you're not sure if you're ready to move on to a bigger jump, come join us on Addiction Plus. Addiction Plus is an online coaching program we offer snowboard addiction. With it, we have multiple options that will help you improve your riding. Obviously, we have all the tutorials you could ever need, as well as we have these two features that I'm super stoked on: live coaching and video analysis. In both, you can go and submit clips to us and we'll look at them, break them down, let you know where your mistakes are and how to improve and when you're ready to move on to the next features. Addiction Plus is one of my favorite features we have ever offered, and I think it's one of the best ways to improve your riding. So if you're not sure you're ready to be hitting a jump, or you want help getting your body ready to perform bigger jumps, or just hit your first ever jump, come join Addiction Plus. First month is free, and it's going to really help you get to the next level of riding. Jumping is all about keeping the strong, simple, stacked body position and getting really confident with doing these micro jumps that don't overextend your body. So take your time, build these fundamentals up, and you'll be able to tackle any jump in no time. I'm Tavis from Snowboard Addiction, and our goal is to improve your riding.